Today was the day one of FIDE Chess.com Online Nations Cup that was taking place at Chess.com with several teams: Team USA, Team Europe, Team Russia, Team India, and Team Rest of the World. So I'm gonna bring you the game between Fabiano Caruana, who was representing the Team USA, and Vidit Gujrathi, who was representing Team India. So Caruana with white pieces plays e4, e5 with it, and he goes for Berlin defense, which is a speciality of Fabi. He tends to play castles, and then we go into this endgame variation of the Berlin defense, the Berlin endgame, game without queens. But here Fabi plays d3, getting away from the endgame variation. Of course, he has a lot of experience with both colors playing this Berlin endgame, the Lermite variation as they say, and has quite a good success with that. It's normal development by Vidit. Bishop goes to a4, castles d6, c3. So he's developing basically like a normal Spanish variation, the more free defense stuff. But let's say knight e7, rook comes to the center. So as we see in the Ava back variation of the Rylov as well, rook comes to defend this pawn, although it's defended already, but as we see in the Ava back variation. So he's playing like a normal Spanish variations that we see in the Morphy defense, but although it's played in the Berlin defense. Okay, knight g6, knight bd2, c6, and knight goes. And here the break in the center. Pawn was taken, knight takes, and here Caruana played knight g3. Let's have a look at the move knight takes e5. So many Spanish variations are coming here, the Marshall Gambit here, the Berlin defense here, the Morphy defense here, but it looks as if white has gained a pawn, but no, there is a tactic here. Bishop takes, the king has to take, knight takes, and if say rook takes e5, then queen f6 check wins the rook, the check. So after knight takes e5, he has to go king g1. It looks very good indeed, and the position is quite okayish, I would say, and with both sides still having to develop their pieces on the queen side, still looks an even position. But Caruana goes for knight g3 in this position. And here Vidit could have simply played bishop g4 in this position with the ideas of h3, bishop takes, queen takes, and he has a very good position indeed with these pawns controlling these critical squares, with this knight also guarding this square. So this position could have been easily playable. Well, if knight takes, you don't want to place your queen onto the pin. So if knight takes, then knight here, and more pressure on f5. So that would have been a playable position, but here Vidit fails to spot this and plays rook e8. And Caruana reacts to the threat of bishop g4 by playing h3. That's a good move. Vidit plays bishop b6, bishop c2, so some normal stuff, now giving a room for the king to avoid any back rank tactics. d2, now d4, striking in the center, this was taken, rooks were exchanged, and bishop d7. And incredibly, Vidit was consuming a lot of time. He took almost 2 minutes to play bishop d7. And after queen f3, he took almost 6 minutes to play queen e5. It was very extraordinary. He was running very low on time. He was consuming a lot of time, whereas Caruana was in high 20, low 20 minutes or so, something. But Vidit was already at 5 minutes. So it was very incredible by Vidit, the way he was playing. So with black, he really looked like a bit under pressure against Fabiano Caruana. And remember, he is more than 100 point ELO rating points ahead of Vidit in classical games. So there might have been some nerves from the Indian. And Caruana was playing very quickly indeed. And Caruana was very sharp. Now knight df5, that's a good move. Attacking the queen, so queen goes to f8. Queen h5. Well, here Vidit took the knight and gave his bishop for a knight. And we will see how this was very crucial. Let's say Vidit would have played knight c4 in this position. But then bishop takes h6, so white gives up a piece, but he has a very good chance at the king's side. It looks like very threatening, but this position is still at equal terms. Nothing much going on even after here, and f5 just seals, and white has nothing better just to repeat the position by queen g5, queen h6, and so on. But Vidit, under serious time pressure, takes the knight. Knight takes, so a lot of tactics would land at h6, although not at the moment, but okay, knight g6, just giving more protection to the king. Rooks were exchanged, and now g3 is trying to give some space to the king. g2, since this file is covered by the queen. Knight goes to f6, attacking the queen. Queen f3, queen attacking the bishop. So bishop comes to c1. So it's very interesting. Now queens were exchanged, and the way Caruana was playing, it was very enterprising. And what happened was that Koneru Hampi beat her opponent, I just can't recollect her name, and so in Team India were leading a point with Anand and Nakamura drawing, and Hari Krishna also drawing his game with Dominguez. So at this moment India were leading a point, so if Vidit draws this game, then it would have been victory for Team India by 2.5 and 1.5. So Caruana had to win this game so that they can split the points. So that's why we can see he's kept his bishop pair, whereas Vidit traded his bishop for knight. h5, that's a good move. Knight d7, sealing this pawn. h5 seals these pawns here. Knight here. Bishop e6 threatens the pawn, but f4 resolves that. And some pawn trades on the king side. Well, in this position I think that things should be level, but I think black cannot fight for a win in this position. He can only fight for a draw. With if he had two bishops, then still he would have chance, but he has bishop and knight, whereas Caruana has two bishops. So the only winning chance that lies here is with Caruana. Let's see what happens. Knight d5, f3, h5. So his attempt is to somewhat try to generate some counterplay and create a passed pawn, but that won't be a threat. So bishop d2, c4 attacking the knight, knight goes back, bishop c3 check, king e6, b4, just try to push his pawns with the help of bishops, knight f5. Better move would have been to play bishop d8 to give something here, but knight f5, I can understand Vidit was running very low on time and we are already at move 45. The game has been very long. Bishop b3 check, king e7, try to trade more pawns here, king e8, 5 bishop d8, bishop attacking the knight. Of course Vidit would like to be exchanging this knight, because this knight is not a good piece for black. Bishop b4, defending the pawn on c5, bishop f6, a6, just sealing the pawn there, bishop going back to e7, pawn attacks, pawns were exchanged, knight e3 check, king f3, and here he could have simply gone for knight f5, but for some reason I couldn't able to gather why did he play knight d5 and gave up the pawn, and that comes with a check. So he would have thought that he would take this bishop, so this pawn cannot be captured, would not have been taken, but this comes with a check, and this pawn is a passed pawn, is a deadly passed pawn. D for deadly, D for decisive, as they say. King f8, not an optimal square to go. Bishop defends itself. Knight c7, bishop defending the pawn. Most probably he would like to capture this pawn with the knight. So bishop c4, it does capture with the knight. If bishop takes, then bishop takes, opposite color bishops, ending would have been a draw. Bishop goes to c1, knight d7, king e4. So little by little, Caruana, with his help of two bishops, is improving his position. And with this deadly passed pawn, he just wants to run this pawn down to f8. And let's see, bishop e3, bishop keeping, light square bishop keeping itself to its diagonal, c5, bishop h5 check, and now c4. Well, here he could have simply played king e7, but as I say, Vidit was in time trouble. He really was. Bishop c5, and now for some reason Caruana plays f5. If he had played bishop e2, then this knight would have been having more pressure to keep an eye on his pawn, and chances are that playing bishop c7, trading this knight and then trading this pawn would have kept more pressure on black, and with him running very less on time, it would have been decisive. F5 played. This just gives a little chance, but that little chance is not enough. Bishop c3, bishop e2, knight takes the pawn, bishop takes. These two bishops are deadly dangerous now. And now, if Vidit is able to sacrifice his knight for this pawn, then the game would end in a draw. Probably would end in the draw, but it would need some very careful play from black, and not to mention this pawn can also go through, creating some very good counter-attacking chances for black. So Vidit is trying to take that pawn with his knight, not with his bishop. So Caruana still holding here. He needs to win this game. Draw won't do it. Pressure on Caruana. Knight check here. e6, knight e4, bishop d3, and here Vidit just cracked. He could have simply played either bishop d2 or knight f6. Both moves would have been drawing moves, but here the move that loses the game immediately, Vidit under time pressure just chose that one, and that was a tragedy for Vidit. Knight g3, and this loses immediately. f6, what a move, what a crushing move f6 is. And as I said, he has to give this knight for the pawn, not this bishop for the pawn. But in this position, he has to give his bishop for the pawn, and this is the end, because this knight is not a ranged piece. It has to go like L. The chess rules don't allow it to support this pawn to a long way, and this king and this knight are so far away from this pawn. This pawn could easily be tracked and taken. Very pity situation. Now bishop a6 just seals that pawn on a7. He could have played bishop c5 and taken it, but he chooses bishop d2, and this is hopeless now for Vidit. This knight is pinned, it cannot capture this because of the pin. So if king takes, then this would be draw, but no, Caruana doesn't want a draw now. He has smelled blood. a5, but this is all in vain. And we will see how these two bishops dominate this knight. Now it's just a mop-up job. And when you see this position, you feel a heartbreak when you have to play knight g3, and you have to remember that Team India were leading, and you, after playing 100 moves under serious time pressure in a drawing position, just cracked and the game went. This is not possible because of bishop takes. This is gone. A hopeless situation. This knight is totally dominated by these two bishops. They just don't let this knight come out. Sad situation indeed. And now you will see the knight is running very low on moves, and playing this knight is totally gone, and We see the checkmate on the board. Whew. So with this victory, Caruana levels the score, one apiece. And what a heartbreaking loss this is for Vidit Gujrathi. I hope you like the video. I hope you like the technique that Caruana possessed. I think it's not that he lost the game. He just went downhill from the word go. He was consuming lot of time in the opening. What a heartbreak. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.